Hello, Miss Hurst here, and today we're going to make Swiss roll. The equipment you need is a baking tray, 2 sheets of greaseproof paper, a mixing bowl, an electric whisk, a sieve, a sharp knife, 2 large spoons, a spatula, and if you have one, a palette knife. An optional extra is a damp tea towel, used when rolling up your Swiss roll to prevent the cake from cracking. The ingredients you need are 90 grams of caster sugar, 90 grams of self-raising flour, 3 eggs, and a fruit jam of your choice. Optional extra to add a teaspoon of vanilla extract. If your baking tray is larger than this, then for every extra egg, add an extra 30 grams of self-raising flour and 30 grams of sugar. Preheat your oven to 200 degrees Celsius. Start by sifting your flour onto one of the sheets of greaseproof paper. Then tip your caster sugar into your mixing bowl and crack all 3 of your eggs into the sugar. Using your electric whisk, whisk the eggs and the sugar together until you have the consistency of double cream. You will know when it's ready as you can lift up the paddles and form a visible figure of 8 in the surface of the mixture. This needs a little longer. You can see this mixture is much thicker and ready to move on to the next steps. We added a teaspoon or a capful of vanilla extract, and then we shoot the flour straight into the mix. We need to be careful that we don't want to remove any of the air that we've just spent a long time whisking in. Using one of the large spoons, carefully fold the flour into the egg and sugar mix. Once all of the flour has been carefully folded into the mix, use your spatula to clean your spoon and you're ready to tip onto your baking tray. Pour your cake mixture directly into the centre of your greaseproof paper on your baking tray. Use your spatula to clean the bowl. It's really important that you do have greaseproof paper here. This is a fatless cake mixture. It has no butter, so without the paper it would stick to the tray. If you have a palette knife, you can use this to spread your cake mix to the edges of your baking tray. If not, a spatula or a normal knife can be used. You need a nice level finish to your cake mix so that it bakes evenly in the oven. Your cake goes on the top shelf of a preheated oven for just 10 minutes. Whilst in the oven, you can prepare for rolling up your Swiss roll. If you are opting to use a damp tea towel, run it under a tap and wring it out so that it is damp, not wet. Lay it out on the table and then put your second piece of greaseproof paper, the one that you had your sifted flour on, over the top. Optional extra, you can sprinkle extra caster sugar over this greaseproof to make a nice crust on your Swiss roll. The jam we are using is very thick, so we decant into a smaller bowl so we can mix it ready for spreading. Cheaper jam that you can buy in the supermarket is much easier to spread. After just 10 minutes, your cake will be golden brown and ready to come out of the oven. You need to work quickly as you want the cake to still be warm when you roll it up. Tip directly onto your greaseproof paper and carefully remove the top sheet. Use your sharp knife to cut a score line, the end closest to you on your Swiss roll. You are not cutting all the way through. This is just the end that you will start rolling up. Tip your fruit jam onto the mix directly in the middle, and you can use either your palette knife or your spoon to spread out evenly across your cake. Use the greaseproof paper to help lift up one end of your Swiss roll, where you made your score line with the knife. Roll it up as tightly as you can. If you use the damp tea towel underneath, the heat from the cake mix should be making steam, and this should help prevent cracking in your cake. Once rolled up, use your sharp knife to cut off both ends to make it neat and for essential taste testing. Transfer to a cooling rack to cool completely before you slice and share.